is it okay to buy thematic ETF now which focus on AI or semicon that manufacture the chips? You want to get into thematic ETF is because you want to concentrate your money into certain industry or certain teams, right? If you really that's your plan, then go ahead, right? But before you go ahead, you need to think like, why do you think that this specific sector will outperform all the other sectors, right? Then that one is a harder questions. Because say for example, if you just concentrate in AI and chip, then I ask you, how do you know that this chip and AI is going to outperform energy? Because it seems that US side also need more energy, right? How do you know it will outperform, let's say, pharmaceuticals? You might have opinion on AI, which you think AI is good, but how do you know that other industry that you haven't monitored, that you know little about, how do you know those industry will actually underperform AI and chip? So when you ask enough question, you realize that actually I'm not sure, right? Then the moment you are not sure, then it is better just to have a broad-based allocations. It is easier, it is also less volatile because you now get diversifications across different industry. That's the whole point of investing in broad-based, right? And broad-based, it covers broad-based about different industry, different sectors. There's diversification already, right? Then it is also broad-based across geographic. You see all these questions, right? People ask like, do you buy China? Do you buy emerging market? Do you buy India? Do you buy Japan? Do you buy Australia? When you ask all these questions enough, right, you realize that actually, why do I need to concentrate just into one single market? Why not I just buy all of them? Then you get a broad base based on sector, broad base based on countries. You get everything. Then people ask you, should I buy some gold or not? Should I get some fixed income or not? Should I buy some crypto or not? Then you ask enough, it's like, okay, even if I broad base everything across country, across sectors already, but Bitcoin is not inside this, right? Gold is not inside this. They are commodities. Then, okay, now we are talking about asset allocations across asset classes. Now, I think the final answer that you will get, right, is some sort of like a diversified asset allocations where you have a percentage allocated to stocks, and that one will be diversified across sectors and geography, right? Then there will be money that allocated to other asset classes. Say, for example, if I stay in this HDB, I have some exposure in real estate. Then I have some exposure to crypto, buy and hold crypto. Then I have some exposure to gold. Then you just split your bullet and then you just have balanced allocations, right? That's, I think, good enough. I think many people, they buy all these institutional funds or whatever, they get a financial advisor. I think eventually, right, the kind of advice that you will get is like, okay, just diversify. Because by diversify, right, you are playing not to lose, right? And you have your assets split up in many different places, right? So volatility also is lower. Like let's say if you bonds, you have equities, these two, I won't say they will have negative correlations. That's not the plan. At least they won't go one to one, right? They won't go up and down together. Of course, there will be some weeks, say for example, like last week where both the bonds and the equities drop together. But most weeks, right, actually they don't move in tandem, and they move somewhat differently. So that one, you have some diversifications. I think all this is to place such that your wealth, right, will be more preserved instead of like you get the best return, right? The best return is definitely stuff that you shouldn't do. The best returns comes from over concentration, because if you over concentrate into like very niche kind of investment and you get it right, that's when you maximize your returns, right?
Till it's cool, just cool, into the mouth. Nice.
Second thing is that if that is not enough, you want to leverage to the max, right? That is the one that make you super quick. But also that's the things that kill people, right? As you ask enough questions, you will notice that your investment will spread out more and more just because of the priority to preserve your wealth. I think people talk about want to make money too often. Too few people talk about how to preserve their wealth. To preserve wealth, you will keep on diversifying.